Hey everyone, so check this out. See these? Stalks, they're back. Okay, so I've got my new Model 3 Performance, same as basically the Highland Edition. And check this out, something you are not used to seeing in these cars. Stalks, all right? They took them out. Well, I'm taking them back, okay? Got these stalks from HANSSHOW. They sent them out, and you know what? Loving them, all right? If you saw my video when I got this car and the issues I've had with it, which, all right, not bad, all right? I'll put a link to the video up here. But one of my biggest gripes about this car was these buttons. They're just not 100%. Well, I went through it on my other video, but not only are they just like a pain, you know, you're not used to them. You got to get used to using these buttons, but you know, the wheel could be turned up and around, and you're searching for a button when you're just used to like hitting the stalk here, and it's simple. It's something you've been used to your entire life. Not only that, but these buttons are like not reliable. If you miss the dead center of the button and start hitting like up here and around here, and then you start hitting here, like it doesn't always work. The button kind of jams up. It gets weird. Not happy with these at all. No worries. We've got stalks. They're back. Check it out. Look at that. Simple, simple, just like that. Okay. You can push it up like that, you know, just like the old stalks do. When you do like that half click, it gives you some temporary turn signal. And when you do it up all the way, it'll keep the turn signal on unless you change lanes. The car knows you're in the next lane. It'll cancel it. So fantastic. You want to like cancel that? Okay. Down, left, cancel it, you know, click back up. Fantastic. Love it. Just this alone, I'm done. All right, I'm in. But they combined the other things that we're used to, okay? Windshield wipers. Okay, you hold it down, you get the squirt, and all right, look, I just cleaned my car. I don't want to like get the windshield wet and stuff, but trust me, works. I'll get to something that I think is a little strange over here. I'll get back to that in a minute. But let me come back over here. Okay, here, reverse. Whoa, what do you know? Just like it used to work before. All right, you want neutral, you do a little kind of a half click down. You want drive all the way down. Okay, fantastic. We're good to go. All right, so there's only one downside that I can see, and something else that's a little strange. I don't remember my other car being this way, but they tell me this is just how it is. So let's check this out. When we push this forward, what is that? I don't know what that is. Why does it do that? I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. It's supposed to be doing something here with the lights, but instead it's doing something with the horn. Pull it back, and we get that. We get high beam flash, which I don't even know why it does that. I don't even know if my old car did that. I guess I could check. My old car is right there. All right, so I'm in my 2018. When I push this forward, all it does is this light setting thing here. And when I pull it back, it doesn't do the flashing lights. It actually does like a normal high beam. So that is a weird thing with those stalks. I don't know what the deal is with that, but anyway, to me, it's not a big deal. That just seems strange to me, but they're saying that that's how it is. Here, you know, when you push this button, and then, okay, the only other downside really is that you've got, okay, you know, I'm used to having a yoke in my other car. I'm just not used to this being here. It's kind of annoying me. All right, this. Okay, if you remember the original steering column, it's this thin all the way up. And so there's a lot less bulk here. And because I guess these are aftermarket, you know, maybe it takes up a little more bulk than the previous model did. But that's it. Otherwise, you know, it's got a factory finish in that to it. People who got into this car and looked over probably wouldn't even think anything about it. When you're sitting here, you don't sit there and go, oh my God, what is all this, you know, weird looking stuff? These are factory stalks, basically. You know, they're completely like Tesla stalks. All right, the only other thing I notice is you know, it's not spaced drastically far away or anything like that, but it is in a slightly different spot. I think it's a little bit further away than, again, 2018. So there it is, Stalks. They are back. So in this video, I'm going to do a full install. All right, I'm going to admit this right off the bat. I'm probably going to steal a bunch of the hand show install video. However, there is a difference with the North American cars. And that difference is down here. Okay, we've got airbags here. I honestly don't know if all the Highland Model 3s North America have airbags there. I'm kind of assuming they are. This is a 2024, again, Performance Model 3. They have airbags, both sides, underneath the glove box too. And honestly, I had no idea that there were airbags there, and it makes taking that panel off, not like it's crazy difficult, but there's like 4 bolts that you've got to take off, and it's holding the actual airbags up there. It's not a big deal. I'll tell you everything you need, but you need an E-Torx, okay? Of course, they didn't put normal bolts in there. They had to use these E-Torx bolts. And that's it. You drop down, there's a wire. You don't even have to, if I remember right, you don't even have to disconnect them. I show you how to do all of that. So in the middle of that video or at those points, I'm going to drop in with those 2 specific items. And I advise taping up the, you got to pull the steering wheel off, and I advise how to put some tape on there just to make sure that that thing in the center doesn't turn around. Oh, and I also tell you to run the cable slightly different than what they have. Again, all of these models are a little bit different, and I think it's easier to do it on the cars from China versus North America, or maybe Australia. I'm not sure, but I found it much easier to do it the way that I'm going to show you. So, pay attention. The install otherwise is just not that difficult. Some other videos I saw, other companies are selling basically the same thing, and they show these videos where they were moving these, and like this whole thing was moving around. Well, this thing is like, I'm pushing this hard here. It's solid. It's locked in. I don't know. I don't know. They must be slightly different. The install must be different. Maybe they didn't screw it in all the way. I don't know. There's even a comment I just saw on Hand Show that says if you push it hard, it moves. These suckers aren't moving on mine at all. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on with those, but I'm here to tell you these are solid. And as usual, TeslaMark discount code. Save some money. Use it at Hand Show, and it works just about everywhere, so try it out. Oh, please like and subscribe. Thanks, guys. All right, let's see what we got in the box. Oh, yeah. The Stalks are in. Okay. Instructions which you don't need because you got me. This looks like some mounting hardware for the actual Stalks. Okay, this goes on top. Right, this goes around the steering part here. This looks good. Looks nice and factory. Okay, and this looks like it goes underneath. These little guys here. We'll find out what these are. But yeah, this probably goes underneath this. Okay. The actual Stalks. Let's check these out. These are looking like the old-fashioned factory Stalks. Oh man, check it out. We might be back in action, old school style. Yep, look at that. Good old park reverse neutral drive with the button. Oh my god. I can't believe it. Nice. All right. Let's get back to this. Okay, connection. We gotta connect this over to the CAN bus on the other side, the right side of the car. This is not going to be difficult though. And then this looks like potentially like a fish line, some zip ties, and then some screws in here. Okay, all right, let's get these installed. Can't wait. Okay, I'm going to show this a little bit more clear than it is in that other install video. So these 2 separate pieces here, it's once you look at them, you'll see that it's very clear that this one goes with this because they don't they won't fit in each other. So this one has a lot of different things that have to fit together. You see on the top here and the bottom here, as well as here, everything has to slide in. And once you line it up just right, it clicks right in, no problem. This one here kind of does the same thing. You see that it's shaped to go in here, and this one, I think it only has this one little puzzle piece there to slide in, and it doesn't click in. What you need to do though is put these long screws in, because this one's loose. So we're going to put this in here. This is all plastic, so you don't get too crazy with the torque. Okay, so this one's nice and solid in there. And this one just clicking in is also nice and solid. So, done with that part.
And once you've done that, go ahead and go into your Tesla display under control and safety, turn off the power. Once the power is off, pry open the side column cap on the dash. So these are the cover that will give you access to the adapter where you will plug in this gear column. And then pull out this rubber weather seal, and this will be easy to put back in. Then pry open the door sill right underneath between that rubber strip. And once you remove that, now you need to remove the steering wheel. Using 2 flathead screwdriver, there's a hole at 8 o'clock on the steering wheel column and 4 o'clock on the steering wheel column, right behind the actual wheel itself. This allows you to remove the airbag. Don't worry, when the car is stationary, the airbag won't deploy. There is a wire behind there. Detach that wire by using the flathead screwdriver. You also want to disconnect this burgundy wire as well. Once you remove those 2 wires and the airbag, go ahead and use a 10mm socket. Place it into the center bolt, and using a breaker bar, go ahead, have somebody hold the steering wheel, turn it counterclockwise, use a little strength until it loosens. Make sure you be careful while you're turning counterclockwise not to hit yourself or the windshield itself. So once you loosen this bolt, it does require a little strength. So having somebody hold the steering wheel is ideal. You can always hold it with your knee. And then once you loosen it, go ahead, hand untighten it by turning it counterclockwise, and then take out that bolt. Wiggle the steering wheel, rocking it back and forth, left and right towards you. And this should loosen it enough for you to pull it out. Be careful not to hit your face with this when you're yanking it back. Once the steering wheel is off, go ahead and pry open the steering wheel column. So you want to pry open the top. There's 4 clips, and then you want to detach this wiring harness. Then unscrew the 2 torque screw at 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock. And this 2 screw you will reuse later. So once you remove those, you can actually detach the bottom cover of the steering wheel column by pulling it towards you and then down. And now you have full access.
Okay, something very different about this Model 3 Performance. Here, this panel. Okay, normally, I'm sorry if this is really bad camera work here, but normally this panel, you just pry this thing off, it just kind of falls down. I mean, it comes down very easy, up and down, no problem. However, maybe it's all 2024 Highland. I don't know if the Model Y has this. I don't know what the deal is, but my Model 3 Performance won't come down because they've added airbags. This side as well as the other side underneath the glove box. Now what that means is you've got this cover here, this cover here, covers come right down, and you have these external Torx bits, and I think that's an E12, and these are for the airbags. So you've got 2 here, 2 over there, and once you take these bolts out, then you can drop this panel no problem. But then yeah, just be a little careful, because the airbag is plugged in and you don't want it to just kind of drop and put a lot of stress on that. So yeah, I never unplugged the airbag. I just kind of let it sit down there and tried to prop it up so there wasn't too much strain on the plug and wires. But anyway, yeah, that is something new.
Next, go over to the passenger side seat, and from the A pillar of the passenger side, you will be looking for a gray connector. Using the actual harness that comes with the kit, go ahead and plug the white to the gray, so male white to gray female, and attach that harness. Then once you remove that male white plug, you will be using a U-loop connected to the actual device harness and plugging the actual Tesla OEM white male plug into the white female plug.
Things are a little bit different down here. So this side panel here, I kind of pulled it out part of the way. This panel that goes back there, and that comes right down. So this isn't incredibly easy to get out, but you can pull this out part way. And if you can see, that tunnel goes all the way through. You have to pull this panel out on this side too, this same panel. It's a little bit harder to get to just because the pedals are in the way, the steering wheel's a little bit in the way. As you can see, I attached this just like the connections here, just like you know, the other install. I'm just going to be running this wire basically up here, just kind of tuck it up around the carpet there and bring it down here, push it through there, and then we'll show you how to get from the steering wheel down to there. Okay, we've got the airbag and slash bottom panel drop down. Got this taped up just in case. We don't want to spin this around without having the steering wheel on. Got these two, well, this actually went on the top. Got these two off, bottom panel down there. And now all we have to do is put this fish line, we're going to put it below this cable here in that opening back there. It's not that difficult to find. And then you can see it drops down right there. And I am going to take the cable there, which is coming over here somewhere, and it's going to be above this panel attached onto this fish line, and then we're going to pull it through and we'll be able to plug in the stalks right there.
And once you have it pulled through, don't try to yank it. If you have any issue, if you feel like it's stuck, pull it back the other way. So once we have the wires over, now you can go ahead and attach the column on the left and the right. So the left is for the windshield wipers, as well as your high beam, and right side is your drive column. So once you have it lined up and it fits in here, it should fit in here perfectly, go ahead and put back on the screws and tighten this up. So there's screws on top of each of the column. You want to make sure that these are tightened up, hand tighten. Don't use a impactor, that will potentially strip the plastic. Take your time with this and make sure the screws are lined up correctly. Hand tighten before you actually use the torque screw or screwdriver to tighten this up. Then you have a couple on the bottom as well, so make sure you also hand tighten this. And once that is done, go ahead and plug in the wires. So each of the column has its own connector, but it is one harness that comes through that splits up. So once you plug in, you will see the light, amber light lighting up on the back side of the actual column or gear selector, and tuck away the wires. And once you're done, go ahead and clean up the area and place this cover back on. So you start from the bottom, everything in reverse order. You slide up and back in to the drive column. And once it's fully in, you can go ahead and attach that clip and then work your way to the top. So make sure you screw back the bottom cover bolts, and using hand screw, hand tighten it before you actually use a torque screw or screwdriver. Then now place the top cover back on and clamp it down. This 2-column shifter does come with this extra cap for a clean OEM look. So one on each side, you snap it on, and then now place the steering wheel back on. And this is a yoke steering wheel also available, and we'll post a link in the description of this video where you can find this yoke from. Use the 10mm bolts to tighten up the center of the steering wheel, and then torque it to 40 to 50 pounds. That's the specification. If you don't have a torque screw, just tighten it with your arm strength. Don't over torque it. Then now plug the burgundy wire and the yellow wire back in and push the airbag back in. The horn should honk once and you're good to go. And that is it for the installation process. All the other panels can be put back on. It looks absolutely amazing, and these are OEM designed to fit your Model 3 Highland, future Model Y Juniper, as well as the X and S refresh. So it's available for all. If you're tired of using the haptic feedback switches or non-switches on the actual wheel itself, and you want physical levers, these are the way to go. So you can control your windshield wiper by a push of a button, and also spray your windshield wiper with windshield fluid. You can also flash your high beam, again using the lever. The switches on the steering wheel still works, but this is more of a traditional lever and column if you're used to that. And also your signal, left, right, instant turn on and off. Again, this are levers from Tesla designed for your Highland. And also your drive mode, you can put it in park, reverse, drive, neutral. It works instantly, just as if you had the original Model 3, Model S and X as well.